Hi, good evening, everyone. So welcome to the PIAJ's first IG Live post where we're inviting you to ask me anything in relation to pensions and pension planning. Hi, Richard. So we had questions coming in all day today, so I'm going to just try and answer as many questions as possible in the next 30 minutes and just talk to you really about the importance of retirement savings. So one of the first questions we got, and many people ask this question, is really what are the benefits of having a pension plan? Because doesn't the state offer a pension arrangement? So yes, that's true. We do have what we call in Jamaica a 3-pillar system for pensions, right? So we have the NIS system, which is a social security system. It's a social benefit system, of which a pension benefit is one part of the benefit you can get. But you can get funeral grants, death benefits, disability benefits under the NIS system. And then you have your private sector pension arrangements, which would be your approved retirement schemes like NCB Smart or Scotia Bridge or Proven Rock. Those are all retirement schemes. And then you also have your employer-sponsored pension arrangements. So like NWC would have a pension plan, Grace Kennedy would have a pension plan. And then the third part of retirement savings in Jamaica is your personal private savings. So yes, the government does have a pension arrangement, which is the NIS system, but the benefits you're going to get under the NIS really aren't sufficient to cover you in retirement. And so it's always important for you to add to that and ensure that you engage in the second pillar, which is, your private pension plan arrangements. And so we always encourage people to not just rely on NIS because it won't be sufficient. And so to me, the importance of a pension benefit is ensuring that there is retirement security when you get to your retirement age. And the second question to that was asked is, what's the recommended starting age to save for retirement? And that's as soon as you start to work. There is no time there's no later time that's a better time. So as soon as you start to work, start contributing to a pension arrangement. And I get it. I mean, when you first start to work, you're looking at paying off student loans. Many people are, trying to get a car, get a new apartment. You're really trying to focus on other things, getting yourself as independent as possible. But the truth is, putting something aside for retirement as soon as you start to work is critical. Tanya Hunter had asked, is there an allowable percentage of your pension that you can draw down before retirement? Excellent question. Currently, you're not allowed to take money out of your retirement account while you're saving for retirement, while you're a member of a pension arrangement. You're not allowed to take that money out. However, there is a discussion being had at the level of the regulators to allow for what we call hardship withdrawals. So the ability to take from your pension plan if you're experiencing any kind of particular, economic or social hardship. So if you've suffered some kind of physical handicap that's causing the need for modifications to your home, if there is a risk of your home being repossessed and foreclosed on, there's also the ability, it's being recommended to take a withdrawal if you need it to pay for funerals expenses for a spouse or a dependent. So this is not the law yet, but the government has recognized that it's very difficult to ask people to save for retirement and not have access to that money in very specific dire circumstances. With the onset of the pandemic, the regulators are looking to fast track the ability to take withdrawals. And so if that actually becomes law in a short space of time, then yes, you would be able to take withdrawals during your lifetime. The current recommendation, it's not law yet, but the current recommendation is that you would be able to take up to a maximum of 2 withdrawals during your lifetime, no more than 20% representing no more than 20% of your pension plan. So this is my FAFSA ask, would these funds need to be repaid to the pension account? No, currently no, but there would be no statutory obligation. But the recommendation is that if somebody wanted to put that money back, they would be allowed to do so. But it's very important to stress that this is not the law at the moment, but this is what's being considered for fast tracking by the regulators. So Leanne, this is my FAFSA asks, how early do people need to start their pension savings? And as I said earlier, that would be as early as possible, as soon as you start to work. And in terms of a formula as to what percentage of your pension, of your income that you should contribute to a pension arrangement, we recommend you contribute the maximum allowed under law, which is 20%. So currently, you're allowed to contribute up to 10%, and your employer, if your employer has a pension arrangement or is contributing on your behalf, your employer can contribute up to 10% as well. So collectively, that's 20%. However, if your employer does not contribute 10%, contributes less than that, you are allowed to make up the difference up to an aggregate of 20%. And so we encourage you to always make those voluntary contributions, those additional contributions, and to maximize your retirement security. Milton Walker from TVJ had asked, what's being done to get every Jamaican to have some sort of pension when they retire? So right now, pension coverage in Jamaica is very low. Only about 10% of Jamaicans in the private sector contribute to a pension arrangement. When you include public sector workers, that goes to about 16, 17%. So coverage is extremely low in Jamaica. And so we need to explore ways in which we can ensure more people come into the retirement savings net. Right now, the PIAJ is working with a research group called the Research Project, and we're working to look at putting to the government a proposal for auto-enrollment. So what does auto-enrollment mean? It means that if your employer doesn't have a pension plan or doesn't somehow allow you to contribute to a pension plan, then you will be automatically enrolled in a retirement scheme. So no matter what job you go to, you will be automatically enrolled. And there are different design features around auto-enrollment, but globally it has had a significant impact on moving the needle for pension coverage. And so we're hoping to put together a concept paper for consideration by the Minister of Finance with a view to actually moving the coverage needle. At the moment though, that's just, like I said, something that's being explored, and hopefully it gets traction and hopefully it gets take up and interest of the government. If implemented, it could move coverage from the current 17% to as much as 50 to 70%. Now the key with auto-enrollment, if it does actually become implemented and become law, is that even though you're automatically enrolled, you will have the option to opt out. So you will always be able to opt out of an auto-enrollment program. If, for instance, it's not a good time for you to be saving, or you just choose not to participate, you can opt out, and that ensures that there's some kind of flexibility, and you have control as the employee as to whether or not you participate. And then there's also discussion at the regulatory level to look at micro pensions, and that will target a different sector of society. So auto-enrollment is looking at persons employed in the formal space in the private sector. Micro pensions now looks at that part of the population that's low income workers or informal workers. So already I know the FSC has engaged a consultant to explore the feasibility of micro pensions in Jamaica. Now, micro pensions is very nuanced, determining who's eligible, who's not, whether or not we put in place a new micro pensions framework, or do we map it onto the NIS system. You know, there are different considerations that we need to have. And the truth is, micro pensions is just what the name suggests. It's small amounts of savings over a sustained period of time. And so at the end of the day, even though we may have more people participating in a pension arrangement through micro pensions, what that pension looks like, the sufficiency of it, and the adequacy of it could well not be where it needs to be. And so those are the two things that we're looking at. Micro pensions, like I said, the government is already kind of exploring that. And then the auto-enrollment program is an initiative that the PIAJ, along with the research project, we're looking to put that concept paper to the minister. We've already actually had a preliminary discussion. The Minister of Finance is always open to looking at ways to strengthening retirement security. So we're keen on having that discussion with him over time. Milton Walker also asked, is the industry lobbying government to get everyone to make compulsory contributions to NIS on all their salary, not just 1.5 million? So PIAJ tends to focus, Milton, on private sector pension arrangements. So we're not really, the lobby effort would not be in terms of the NIS system specifically. But what I will say is that as the president of the PIAJ, I was invited by the minister to sit on a working group to look at a commission to look at revamping and improving the NIS system, and especially the investment framework for NIS. And so those recommendations were made to the minister. The commission's work was concluded not too long ago, and recommendations were made to the minister. And if implemented, we do hope to see the strengthening of the NIS system, ensuring better benefits for members, ensuring that it's a viable and robust pension arrangement. One of the things that I think we need to stress, though, you hear it all the time, the importance of retirement security, but I don't think it really hits home for a lot of people. The truth is, old age poverty is a real thing. It's not kind of hypothetical. There are a lot of people who earned good money in their working years and lived well, but didn't make sufficient provision for retirement, and find themselves in a situation where they cannot look after themselves in their old age, and they're destitute. They have nothing to lean back on. And so it's important that we don't look at retirement and retirement security as something that, I'll think about 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when I'm closer to retirement age. It's something that we need to implement now. Get into the habit of putting aside money and saving for retirement. And doing it through a pension arrangement, because it's a tax advantage system, meaning that you're able to contribute before your income is taxed, before you pay any tax at all. And so that's important. In particular, I think it's important as well to socialize the importance of women saving for retirement. Women are in a particularly special class of the working population because we live longer than men. We tend to retire earlier because in many cases, women retire sometimes up to 5 years earlier than men do. But yet as women, we tend to experience ill health conditions earlier. And yet we are the ones that have the greatest level of disruption in our pension savings because of child rearing. We often are the ones looking after elderly parents and dependents. And so we have the greatest level of disruption in pensionable service and pensionable contributions. We live longer. We experience ailments and health issues earlier in our retirement years. And at the same time, as women, we tend to be less aggressive when it comes to saving for retirement and less aggressive when it comes to investing. So these are all factors that we need to really think about and ensure that we don't put it aside and we don't consider it something that you don't have to focus on, but really prioritize it as a part of our financial planning. Oh, okay. From Liang at this is my FAFSA. Oh, okay, that seems like a mistake. Okay, so I don't know if there are any more questions that people have. Jason, you had a question? Gavin? Richard? All right, so we don't have any more questions from persons who have joined. All right, let me just see. Okay, guys, this is my first time going on IG Live, so forgive me if I'm kind of figuring things out. Okay, are we giving education to high school students or college students? So financial literacy is key. What we do know is that studies show that financial literacy actually doesn't improve retirement coverage. People don't get up and start saving more because they went to a financial literacy course. You don't really actually see that changing. No, that being said, it's important to know. It's just important to have the knowledge. PIAJ is looking at implementing, particularly with a partnership with churches, improving financial literacy in certain, with certain groups and associations. And in particular, we're looking at churches because we do feel that there's a strong kind of level of touch points with certain associations, usually, you know, universities, clubs, and churches as well. So that's a part of the financial literacy program that the PIAJ is working on, particularly in relation to schools or college or schools. We don't have a program for that. Photograph is asking, why do men die sooner, or is it just married men who die quick? I'm unable to comment on that, Gavin. Thank you. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Please also tune in to our Twitter chat with financial analyst Mark Gale this Friday at 2 p.m. at Jamaica Pensions on Twitter, as we work towards paying it forward with PIAJ this Christmas. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Have a good night. And I'm trying to figure out how this works. Okay. Okay, how do I end? You're welcome, Leanne. I just need to figure out how to end this live. Okay.